Hello, this is Walk With Me Ministries. I'm Cheryl in Sidebottom with the 6th edition of the devotional that we have been doing of I've Set the Lord Always Before Me. We're talking now about being dependent upon God as He is ever before us. We ended the last session with the creation, and I would like to turn to that scripture, and it's found in chapter 3 of Genesis, and it starts with the 4th verse. But the serpent said to the woman, "You shall not surely die. For God knows that in the day you eat of it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing the difference between good and evil, blessing and calamity." The very next scripture says, "And when the woman saw," there are so many things that if we could understand, there is a battle between our understanding and God's understanding or God's sight. I'm reminded of a scripture right now that takes us, I believe it is in Proverbs, where it says, "Lean not unto your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your path." In Psalm 62, it says that He will lead us into the path of life. If we will just lean to His understanding, if we'll trust and become dependent upon Him for every supply. Now, yes, when Eve ate the fruit that day, they did not die that day, but God, being the center of all things, was removed from the center, because if you will remember with me, when God created all things, He specifically put certain things under Adam and Eve's dominion. And that was the vegetation of the land. That was everything that lived on land and air and sea. All of this came under Adam's power and dominion. When Eve ate of the fruit and gave to Adam, suddenly their eyes were open. Suddenly they had decided that they would be like God and that they didn't need God. And where God had been the center of all things, God was removed from the center, and Adam and Eve became the gods of this world, if you will. And that had centered itself on God no longer was centered on God, but self had raised up in its place. I don't think we really understand what happened in that day that the fruit was partaken of, that they were told not to eat of. I don't think we understand the fullness of the concept there. Yes, Adam and Eve were removed from the garden so that they would not eat of the tree of life. But we must know that even everything that was under their dominion and under their power also had a tsunami, if you will, in the core of their being. Where the lion and the lamb used to lay down in the original creation together, suddenly there became predator and prey. Death began to happen immediately in the animal kingdom, in the land and the air and the sea. Death did not come immediately to mankind, but death came immediately to all that was under their dominion and their authority. Thanks for tuning in today. We'll pick up there in the next edition.